Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we need to talk about a little bit more of a major snowstorm than we originally anticipated in yesterday's video. We talked about many snowstorms yesterday, but this one is looking a lot more major than we first thought. Anyways, before I get into the video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, how much do you think is the maximum snowfall that would be possible with this upcoming potential snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look here at the simulated radar at about right now. As you can see, we do have some snowfall coming down for the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley region. This is definitely not our major snowstorm. This is a bit of a minor clipper system coming through. There might be about 1 to 3 inches of snowfall that comes with that in the heavier pockets, but generally a weaker system. And this does eventually move up to where it's impacting the northeastern United States. However, it is still very minor, if not even more minor by that point. Now let's take a zoomed out look, because we're going to need to take a national view for this. You can see we have a big storm up there for eastern Canada, about a 989 millibar low pressure center there, bringing heavy snowfall to many regions up there. Let's just take this towards about 2 p.m. on Saturday, December 4th, and this is where we begin to see our major snowstorm begin. Up there for southwestern Canada and northwestern United States, impacting some states like Washington and Montana. With already some moderate to heavy snowfall, that is the beginning of this major snowstorm. Now, by the time we reach about 5 a.m. on Sunday, December 5th, we're only 129 hours out by this point, which is considered to be the medium range. So this is not a long-range forecast by any means. This is less than a week out at this point, definitely from starting. Now, by the time we reach about 2 p.m. here on Sunday, December 5th, you can see that this moderate to heavy snowfall has moved mostly into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then Michigan, especially there, where we're already seeing moderate to heavy snowfall occurring for these regions. And this is only going to intensify further as it heads into the northeastern United States, because that is going to get some of that Atlantic warmer air to really strengthen that low pressure center. And this one will become a bit of a nor'easter. It is going to get that kind of intensity with it as it heads towards the east, like I said before. Now, states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan by this point are likely seeing accumulating heavier snowfall here by this point. These states can generally expect possibly 6 to 10 in the bullseye here if it does occur this way. And things only intensify further by the time we're reaching about 8 p.m. here on Sunday, December 5th. Because as you can see, we have very heavy snowfall coming down for portions of Wisconsin, Illinois, and then Michigan, especially there. Very heavy snowfall coming down, likely accumulating. And there likely is some lake effect enhancement going on, which is kind of like lake effect snow, except there's already a storm in place. You know, lake effect snow happens on its own as cold air moves over the warmer Great Lakes waters. But this lake effect enhancement happens when there is already a storm moving through, and it just intensifies the precipitation that's already in place and brings very heavy snowfall. And I'm sure that's taking place by this point. Now, as we reach about 2 a.m. on Monday, December 6th, you can see that this one is becoming kind of like a interior nor'easter. There is a lot of that low pressure that is offshore, and you can see some precipitation there offshore of the southeast. That is that nor'easter type stuff happening already, as these two areas of low pressure are going to kind of combine and become a pretty intense storm. You can see areas like Michigan are still seeing some heavier snowfall, but especially now Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York, right off of Lake Erie especially. This one only gets stronger as we head towards Monday morning. This is about 6 a.m. on December 6th. That's, again, Monday. And as you can see, that precipitation offshore of the East Coast is getting closer and closer to this storm. And that low pressure system is probably transferring to where it's mostly offshore by this point. You can see the cold air pouring in behind this storm. We have very heavy snowfall, basically from eastern Ohio, northern Pennsylvania up through New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and even Maine there, but especially, actually, I would say northeastern Pennsylvania and a bit of upstate New York there seeing the worst of it, I would say, by this point. Keep in mind, things could change a lot. This can move further south. This can move further east, further west, further north. More intense, less intense. All of these things can change. But the closer you are to the storm, and in this case, we're at about a moderate range, like I said, the less time there is for those big changes to take place. That's why a 15-day forecast is very sketchy, because so many things can happen over 15 days. You're going to see minor changes, every single day. So 15 minor changes turns into one huge change. But when you're about, 5 or 6 days out, there is far less change that can usually happen. Now, by the time we reach about 2 p.m. on Monday, December 6th, you can see this one becomes a full-blown nor'easter by this point, offshore of Cape Cod, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard. We see the heaviest snowfall, which is very heavy, by the way, is mostly for northeastern Pennsylvania up through New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine there. As this one becomes a nor'easter, it's going to become even more intense. And by about 8 p.m. here on Monday, December 6th, you could see that Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine are still seeing snowfall, especially Maine. They're seeing extremely heavy snowfall. And then finally, this one moves out by about 2 a.m. here on Tuesday, December 7th. You can see another clipper system coming down for Minnesota and Wisconsin on kind of the top left corner of your screen there, but we're not going to talk about that one today. Here's the total snowfall according to this European model. And as you can see, there is a lot of pinks. There's a lot of pastels happening there for the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. But let's just zoom into these regions where we can see the numbers on screen. This would be a very intense snowfall event. If you're anywhere in the grays, that's a dusting. If anything, blues are going to be about 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Purples are going to be about 6 to 10. Pinks would be 10 to 20. Pastels, which are kind of like a turquoise color there. You can see a lot of that for upstate New York and New England. That is where we're at 20 inches plus. But I want to remind you to take this with a grain of salt, because things can still change quite a bit, but we are in the shorter range. And I think this is pretty much the biggest major snowstorm threat we've had so far this year, considering how close it is to happening, how much agreement there is in the models of this happening, and just how realistic it is given the pattern. And obviously, when you're a little bit further into December, as opposed to being in November, climatology is a little bit more on your side in that case, and I think that's why I feel a little bit more confident about this one happening as opposed to if it was obviously November. Now here's the GFS models forecast, and as you can see, it's a bit less on the northeastern side, but it's a bit more for the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. This is an example of how things can change. We have two models that are both showing a major snowstorm. It just looks quite a bit different. The areas that see the heaviest snowfall are different, but they're still very, very heavy snowfall accumulation taking place, and that's the one thing that is consistent on all three of the models we're about to show. Now, the Canadian model is the most underwhelming here, as you can see, but there's still many pockets of 10 inches plus, which I consider obviously a major snowstorm, especially in the northeastern United States as opposed to the upper Midwest. They're a little bit more used to it out west, but for the Northeast, definitely 10 inches plus would be considered to be quite major. Now you can tell we have quite a bit of agreement there according to the three major models, European, GFS, and Canadian. Again, the one thing they're very consistent with is that there will be a major snowstorm. It's just about where is the location of that heaviest snowfall, how far north will that snowfall line be. Those are the kind of things that we're going to have to really filter out over the next few days. But I feel pretty fairly confident that there will be a major snowstorm. There is still a chance, at 5 days out that this could fizzle away. But it's much, much higher chance of actually happening as opposed to being about, 7 to 10 days out or even beyond, obviously, as that would bring the confidence pretty much to the floor. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. So I'm about, 70% confident that we will have a major snowstorm of some sort. That still leaves 30% that, it's not major. That's still within that 30 is, more of a minor snowfall event or snow showers or not happening at all. I think the chances of it not happening at all are under 5% at this point, because there will be a low pressure center, so something would have to change very drastically, but there is still a chance that things are a bit lighter or things are a bit warmer or things are a bit further north, and Canada sees most of that heaviest snowfall, but I still feel like there's about a 60 to 70% chance that a major snowstorm is going to take place in the United States. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what are your overall thoughts on these upcoming snowstorms? Because there is multiple of them. And Melted JT said, this pattern is extremely active, and it really is. There's storm after storm after storm. And if this setup or if this sets up for the rest of the winter, then the East and the Midwest should take this as an early sign to get ready and prepared. And that's very true. Although a pattern like this, staying consistent through the entire winter is very rare. I don't even know if that's ever happened before. Every winter kind of has its quieter periods. But if this is a sign of things to come for the most part, that is pointing towards a much more active winter. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Eagle, Litter the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kulasa, Catbite, Charles Tennant, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaven, Bill Dallas, Gary's, John Calisi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Crenenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox also. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.